And today we're actually going to be talking about Halloween. As you probably gathered from the thumbnail, Halloween is something that is celebrated, as I'm sure you know, in most countries.
Yep.
Strangely enough, where I grew up in South Africa, we didn't really celebrate it.
Sure.
Some people did. Some
Sure.
people definitely did, but it's not very widely celebrated. I love Halloween here. It's great.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's great to see the community. It's great to see the people going out there and putting out decorations. It gives the kids something to look forward to, you know, the whole getting dressed up and everything. I love it a lot. Very sort of generous sort of a holiday. Giving away free candy and stuff,
It is.
right?
Generous holiday. Yeah.
It's generous. I like it. I like the generosity of it. Anyway, let's show you a little something in the background here before we get started. What's this little kid saying? So, what is that?
So we won't celebrate Christmas. We'll only celebrate Chinese holidays. So I did a whole expose on this actually as a Xi Jinping thought, which is Xi Jinping's new kind of almost like a doctrine.
Yes.
To teach the children in education. They actually have to use a textbook which teaches Xi Jinping's ideas, kind of like they did with Mao Zedong's time, Chairman Mao.
Yeah.
And one of the whole pushes in Xi Jinping thought was to get rid of all foreign influence. That is something they're trying to eradicate. So you remember in Chairman Mao's time, they were actually trying to get rid of Chinese influence.
Yeah, it's interesting, yeah.
They were destroy the olds,
Yeah, destroy
right?
the four olds.
Destroy all the things about China that makes China China, right? Chinese culture, all that stuff is bad.
Yeah.
And I'm not being facetious. That was the idea.
That's what they were saying, yeah.
China-
They're going to destroy temples and burn manuscripts.
Yeah, Chairman Mao said China is bad.
Yeah.
And so we need to become like the Soviet Union. He was obsessed with the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
So he wanted to destroy China to make new China. And that's actually what it's called. It's called 新中国. It's like, if you hear like, well, 没有共产党就没有新中国, which means like without the Communist Party, there would be no new China. And
Yeah.
new China is the phrase.
Yeah.
New China. So right now we're in new China.
Yes.
This is the era of new China. So Xi Jinping's the leader of new China, not old China.
Yeah.
New China is almost like a different country, right? So in new China, Xi Jinping thought is a continuation of Mao Zedong thought in many ways. And the new idea is to rid China of foreign influence now. And not to bring back Chinese culture. It's to bring back Chinese culture that's approved and commandeered by the Chinese government.
Correct.
Right? And one of those huge key features of Xi Jinping thought for education in textbooks is no more foreign culture. And that includes foreign holidays, foreign textbooks, foreign music, foreign movies. And you can see the whole goal of China is to create an intranet. You know, with the internet, we're living in an internet age where everything's shared. To cut off from that and have its own centralized intranet, have its own music and movies and influence to where there's no things coming in from the outside.
Yeah.
And you see that here in this phrase. This is a campaign. They were getting children to say Xi Jinping thought ideas. And one of the most celebrated ones we saw was, we're not going to celebrate foreign holidays. We'll only celebrate Chinese holidays.
Yeah.
In an effort to do that, they banned Christmas. Of course, you saw like little clandestine things. Maybe someone put up a little Christmas tree or something. But in many cities, they would remove those influences. They'd remove the decorations of Santa Claus.
Yeah.
They'd stop, most importantly, this is really hyper-focus on classroom etiquette. Not allowing the children to celebrate those foreign holidays within the classroom.
Yes.
And this is what we're seeing right now with the Halloween ban, which you
Yeah,
saw.
and you know, it's very disheartening to see because you know, when I first got to China, foreign holidays were embraced.
Yes.
But they were not embraced from like a religious perspective, from a capitalist perspective.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's Christmas time. You'd see massive Christmas decorations in the malls. You know, when you and I used to teach kids,
Yeah.
they'd always have like a big Halloween party.
Oh, of
They'd have a
course.
big Christmas party.
People loved it.
You know, like if you were a foreign teacher and you're a little bit fat, you would have to dress up as Santa Claus.
You know it.
You know it, right? We always
yeah.
had one foreign teacher who's kind of just the right shape for Santa, you know?
We always did. We always
know,
had one of those.
Yes, and it'd always have to be Santa. You didn't
Always
have a
to be
choice.
Santa.
Yeah.
Definitely wasn't me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to strap a pillow or something and then
sure.
you'd do it. You know, that's what we'd do back in the day. But basically, it was fun for the kids. And it was like the whole consumerism thing, you know, everyone buying Christmas presents and so on and so forth. But it was fun. And it was a super fun thing for the kids, especially around Halloween and so on.
Yeah.
But honestly, while we were still there, we started to see it wane away. And a couple of times you would see these things about like, oh, China's banning Christmas or whatever. And it's true, they would actually go out, and if you were running any kind of government-linked thing or a government school or anything like that, they would be like, no, you may not have anything to do with a Western holiday in this school.
Yeah.
no Christmas, no Halloween, delete it, okay? So all Christmas parties or Halloween parties or get-togethers or games or anything were all cancelled. And we saw this progress more and more to also reach out to more public spaces. Like hotels were being told you're not allowed to, have, I don't know, Christmas decor and things like that in your lobby and things. It was getting worse and worse. So up until this point, most private schools have actually, like international private schools, have managed to kind of skirt around this law and still be able to have their Halloween parties and their Christmas parties and stuff, right? But there's a bloke on Twitter, I'll show you here right now, who posted this. This is the guy that was stuck in Sanya under lockdown.
The Hainan always wore a hat. Arif's Adventures.
He's a small-time YouTuber in China, and he's just very positive about China. Loves China. Sure. He loves living there, but he keeps getting beat down, which is kind of sucky. Anyway, the thing is, this is what he posted out yesterday. Said, my school here in China was supposed to celebrate Halloween tomorrow. The kids have been so excited for it. They wanted to wear their costumes and have fun. But there's been a government announcement saying we can't celebrate it. What a complete joke. Let the kids have fun.
Yeah, and this is really in line with some other stuff. So we did some background research.
Yeah.
Multiple schools across China, so multiple provinces.
Yeah.
We reached out to the teachers that are still there. All of them had their Halloween celebrations canceled.
Yes.
Some of them didn't have them planned to begin with because they knew it wasn't allowed.
Especially now that Xi Jinping's pretty much just solidified he has solidified his power. This is one of his big things that he pushes for, is removal of Western influence, right? So this is a fantastic way for him to put his foot down. It's like, no
foreign holidays.
Even if it's a private school. So anyway, I just wanted to go through some of the reaction to this, right?
Yeah.
I did reply to him and I said, you're not living in a free country, mate. The CCP can change the rules on a whim, and no one can do a thing about it. They're also rooting out Western influence, and Halloween is seen as a Western influence since it's a Western festival. And I know I used the wrong rooting there, by the way. It should be like rooting like a...
It's okay. I understand what you meant.
Yeah, rooting it out. Getting rid of it, right? Must have been like 3 a.m. in the morning or something.
Okay.
Anyway, the fact of the matter is, it turns out it is because of that. Because somebody asked him, is it due to COVID restrictions? And he said, no, they said Western influence. So
there you go.
That's what they actually said.
It actually matches up with the other people we talked to.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad this guy put this out because the people we talked to they didn't want us to go out and be like, my school said, but this guy, we don't, this guy didn't post his job or anything.
No. It's you're going to put something publicly on Twitter.
No, I get it. No, I'm saying if we talk about our friends.
We know that this is something that's happening all over China and has been even when we were there.
Yes.
So to see it now hit private schools like this, and I'll continue this over here because he was talking to someone. They said, oh, finally they cracked down on Halloween too. I've been trying to celebrate Christmas with my ex-students, and the authorities always canceled my special class due to religious influence. But it was totally fine for them to celebrate Halloween. So he said, I know public schools are like that here and have been for a while, but I didn't expect it to come to private schools.
That's the problem.
Guessing Christmas will be canceled soon. I'll have to invent a new celebration for that time.
So the Xi influence thing, obviously you saw the kids reading off the little passages of Xi Jinping thought. That was in public schools. But the thing is, the private schools have often been insulated from a lot of the regulations. And I say insulated, you can't just go in there and be like, yeah, let's promote democracy.
Sure.
But I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
There was a kid in my first school that I worked at, right?
Yeah.
This is in 2009, 2010, 2009. So this is Hu Jintao's period.
Yeah.
He used to wear a Taiwan flag pin.
Okay.
And his dad was Taiwanese and working in China. And he would go in and talk about how Taiwan is a separate country and tell the other kids in Chinese. That's how different it was then than it is now. Can you imagine that happening now?
It can't happen.
And that was at a private school, and it was a little bit insulated from that kind of stuff. You could still do the holidays and all this kind of stuff, but it's just new Xi Jinping thought. The tentacles have really traveled through every business in China.
Yeah, because they're like, hey, look, it doesn't matter if you're a private company. You must obey the Chinese rules and regulations, and that means everything, including this nonsense, like you can't celebrate Halloween. Anyway, I just wanted to continue this because somebody replied to him and said, last year when I was in Shanghai, some places had a sign outside saying no Christmas celebrations. The sign was from the Shanghai government.
And this is in Shanghai,
Yeah,
guys.
Western influences are bad, said the government. Okay. Anyway, I also just wanted to point out a phenomenon that happened here, okay? Because some other people asked, have you been allowed to celebrate it in previous years? And he said, yeah, we did last year. And they said, oh, so that's worrying. I really hope it improves soon, that type of thing. It won't, by the way. But then, I mean, now this is a pretty innocuous post. He literally said, oh, this sucks. You know, the children were looking forward to it. Why can't they have fun? Guess what he starts getting? He starts getting the Wumaos.
Yes.
So now you got people posting on that same post of his. Have you considered just not forcing your Western festivals on your students? Just leave if you don't like it. We know what to celebrate and what not to. And stop whining, okay? And then somebody else is like, these days people bitch on anything about China. Just leave if you aren't happy there, you know? Like, why? Why does it have to be like that, right? So, you know, I think he's probably getting a taste of what we deal with all the time, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, unless you praise China and the CCP 100% of the time, you will be subject to these attacks.
Yeah, for sure.
You cannot have any criticism.
Oh, it's just the beginning, right?
You can't have any criticism, even if it's a mild criticism. So he even said himself, he said, so I post 99% positive about China because I like living here, love my job, friends, and the food. It's enough to keep me happy here. But if I post one thing I'm frustrated about, I'm told, you're anti-China. Leave if you don't like it here. Ha, get a grip and a life.
Welcome to me and Winston posting 99% positive things and getting absolutely decimated, and not by normal people, by rabid nationalists trained and forced by the government to come attack us. And this is what happens.
Well, that's how it starts. Yeah. Okay. So for us, it was a similar deal. Very positive. Yeah. We start getting attacked for very basic criticisms of things that should, frustrations that should be. And the more you get attacked, the more you see how bad the system is. You know, the more you see how unhealthy it is, and the more you actually realize that there's a lot that people need to be talking about, but you can't, because you try to talk about even the slightest problems and you just get railroaded by these absolutely savage attacks.
Yes.
Right? So I just wanted to point out, for his sake, that he is just overly positive about China, you know?
Sure.
Just look at some of his posts here. I could never afford a place like this on my own back home in the UK, but here in China, I can afford it with ease.
I mean, it's whatever. It's new.
I move in
like
next
fresh
week.
off the boat syndrome. I get it.
Yeah, whatever. But I just want to point out, like, heading to Shanghai this weekend for a few days. Can't bloody wait. Last time I was here was before lockdown. Next post that he puts out. The hotel I booked in Shanghai just phoned me to say they're under lockdown for a week. It's not meant to be. Maybe another time, Shanghai. Okay, so
he's very tolerant.
Like I say, he's super positive, even when he keeps getting beat down.
Right.
Yeah, you know? So I just wanted to put that out there, that the guy is actually super positive, like shill level positive when it comes to China, but he's a nice guy.
Sure.
And he just put out a little thing about the frustration about the kids and gets beat down by all those terrible Wumao. But hey, listen, this is real. You know, this affects all kids in China. And it's unfair. You really should be able to experience other cultures.
Of course.
I don't know about you, but my kid, whenever it's Chinese New Year or whatever, the class will make lanterns. And, you know, it's all about whenever it's Cinco de Mayo or something. I don't even know what that holiday is, but whenever there's a holiday that's big in another culture, they will be doing that. They will be doing something in their class, making little paper horses or making whatever it is that's got to do with a different culture. And I love that. I think it's great. But in China, they don't want that. They want one thing only. So we thought we'd show you some clips, which you translated this for your main video, which you should go watch it. We'll maybe you can link it in the comments. It's a good video.
Yeah, sure.
But we just wanted to show you some of the things that the kids in China are being forced to say, or taught to say, we should say.
用一句话证明你是中国人。
如果心眼有颜色，那一定是周国红。
For those of you listening, the teacher basically for each one of these questions says, say something to prove you're Chinese. So this little girl says, if my beliefs had a color, they would be China red or communist. 中国红. How can they claim a color, by the way?
I don't know.
Anyway.
人民有信仰，国家有力量。
Okay, the people have faith and the country is powerful.
非常棒，那你来。
请用一句话证明你是中国人。
此生不悔入华夏，来生。
I have no regrets entering life as a Chinese and leaving life as a Chinese person.
Why are you making kids say that?
Yeah.
我们不过
And then this guy, of course.
节日，不过圣诞节，我们只过中国节。来，
能用一句话证
Okay,
明
again.
你是中国人。我们生在红旗下，长在春。
We are born under the red flag and grow in the spring breeze. What does that even mean? You know?
I don't know.
春风里。为中国自崛起而读书。
I will study the rise of China. All right, little boy.
好，来你。
想用一句话证明你是中国人。
犯我中华者，虽远必诛。
That's kind of disturbing. Whoever offends our China will be punished, even if they are far away.
That's the worst.
I think that's the worst one.
It is the
Why are you
worst.
teaching kids that? You know, why you got to teach them this nonsense? Whoever offends our China will be punished, even if they are far away.
我们不过节日，不过圣诞节，我们只过中国节。来。
Yeah, I played
想
it
用一
again.
句话证明你是中国人。
愿与吾辈
I am willing to defend prosperous China as a fearless youth.
青春，捍卫盛世之中华。此生不悔入华夏，来世还做。
And this is, they're teaching them the same rhetoric all
Yeah,
over.
even all the classrooms.
I have no regrets entering life as a Chinese and leaving life as a Chinese person.
Yep.
That's a dumb thing to say anyway.
中国人非常棒。
Making these poor kids say this stuff.
I know, it's ridiculous. Anyway, to continue on with the Halloween thing, it's banned in schools, obviously, and in government, anything connected to government and other big institutions.
Yeah.
But now, for instance, there's a place in Shanghai called One Oak, which is one of these overly pretentious clubs. Actually, I think it started in New York, and there are various ones around the world. It's
Gotcha.
one of those fancy schmancy, the celebrities go there and
Gotcha.
A-listers hang out, and
So over
you can rent a private room for 30,000 RMB for like a couple hours or
I
whatever.
mean, clubs were fun when I was in my teens and early 20s, but I
Mm-hmm.
feel like, how do you continue that lifestyle? I'm not judging
Yeah.
anyone. Just
Yeah.
how do you continue that lifestyle?
Well, you got to have a lot of stamina.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, do you actually have it on your computer, the flyer, because it's really small to read up there? I want to read some of the
Yeah, I
restrictions
think
or
I can
whatever.
pull it up. So.
One of the things that we both found quite amusing about this flyer, okay, so maybe you can read what the rules are to
So
enter.
to
'cause-
enter a venue, you'll need to provide a negative nucleic acid
So wait,
COVID test.
they're having a Halloween-themed party night,
Yeah.
okay? So you need to have your test, okay, and?
Within 48 hours in a green health code. Also, temperature will be scanned upon entry, and scanning the venue code will be required. Thank you for your patience and understanding in this regard. Then it says, we'll be open on blah, blah, blah. Please do not dress up as an epidemic prevention personnel.
So, yeah,
otherwise, you'll be denied entry. Thank you for your cooperation.
I mean, I think that's the scariest thing you could dress up for.
It is.
You know, for Halloween
Yeah.
is a dabai, or, those stormtroopers that you see. But yeah, you're not allowed to do that. Don't do that.
No,
So,
don't do that.
just for those that might jump in and say, oh, you say Halloween's banned, but why can they have like Halloween parties at clubs? Because that's different.
Yeah.
It's not a government institution. They're trying to get rid of any Western influence from education.
Yes.
And from children.
Yeah.
Western textbooks, like you said earlier, have been thrown out. You're not allowed to teach Western textbooks anymore. Anything they're trying to get rid of, and that's also why they've been trying to shape Hollywood to their whims.
For sure.
They don't want like Western culture bleeding through film and music and things like that. So
Correct.
it's getting worse and worse and worse here.